Hi, Bambi. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's great to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, honestly, it's my pleasure to have you on. So I want to jump straight in and ask you straight away about your most recent singles, if that's all right. So can we talk about Keal?
Yeah, so Keal is about it's different to the previous songs that I've ever put out, and it's done very well. So it's hit 2 million streams on YouTube.
Yes.
um, and the response has been amazing. It's been picked up by a lot of mainstream Spotify playlists and BBC Radio One, One Extra, things that we haven't pitched for, but they've obviously loving the sound, and there's definitely a market for it. So it's very exciting to see how this song is like kind of going forward.
Yeah, I know. I
Uh,
love that. And I love the video because it's got like a summer chill vibe going on as well. And it's like a gorgeous video as well.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very organic song. Like, I wasn't trying to be different with this. This was like, because it's like R&B. So I started music by singing in R&B, English R&B. So it's kind of like going back home to how I
Yeah.
started. And I'm just very, grateful that it's done very well.
Nice. And like, where did your inspiration come from it? Like, and for anyone that's kind of listening, doesn't really know Punjabi and stuff, like, what's the story behind it?
So Keal, is the actual song, and the storyline was from a personal experience where um so I was actually talking about my partner right now. He's my partner still. I was talking about, him wanting to be in a relationship with me, but at the time I wasn't ready because I was so focused on my career and everything I'm doing for myself that I didn't think about being in a relationship with someone or dating or anything. um but then I put a twist, which is not true. I took the
Okay.
twist where he we obviously didn't get into a relationship. And then after some time, I realized that, hold on a second, this is the guy that was meant to be for me, because everyone else I've seen just doesn't level up to my expectation. And now that he's not there, I'm saying Keal, which means I'm thinking of you.
Ah, there you go. Well, what a great story. That's
It's
given.
not true, but it's I just wanted to put a twist.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at least
Like
it's
a Bollywood film.
a bit of inspiration.
Yeah.
And you've also brought out and recently Dunya, which is a little bit different. It's got a strong female power to it. I love the video in that.
Thank you. So Dunya was so it's so Shay, who produced the track, he put this beat forward, and it had like an inspiration from drill, which is very in right now. And I wanted to, like, all my music, I stand strongly by female empowerment. I have done all my life, because of personal experiences, and through my music, that's where I communicate everything the most. And so Dunya is about just sticking up for myself, and being a young Asian female. I've never really had support from family or just from general people in the public, because I'm a brown girl and I'm doing something that's not seen
Yeah.
in the Asian market. So I mean, it's very unusual, and people don't like change. And so I wanted to create that song where I'm just not apologizing for anything, and I shouldn't.
No, no, you shouldn't. And you just touched on a little bit, I do a lot about female empowerment as well, and I love everything that you do. And like, what did you find like in the industry? Do you find it difficult, being an Asian female in the music industry?
Yeah, I always have. So the time I came into the industry, I was 16 years old. So I was always the baby of the industry. And not only that, it's very male dominated as well. So it was like much harder for me. And when men see something different come into the scene, basically a young female, it's like a piece of meat walking in, and so they attack.
Mm,
And that's kind of how I felt sometimes. I'd go to a gig, and there'd just be a lineup of guys drinking alcohol, trying to flirt with me. And I just felt very uncomfortable, because I'm just there for music. I'm there to make a name for myself.
yeah,
But then, you get these guys that kind of question, why am I doing this?
yeah,
But it's something that has also made me stronger very quickly. So it's made me mature much faster. It's made me grow a thicker skin. It's made me learn how to handle guys when they feel like they can intimidate me. So
yeah.
there's
Well,
pros and cons to it all, but it was definitely the biggest lesson in my life. It's definitely helped me in nurturing myself, I guess.
oh, that's good. At least there's a silver lining there. But
Yeah, definitely,
did you feel
definitely.
like you got your own way then in videos and songs and music?
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had to push forward a little bit more?
Absolutely. Like I think I've always made guys know in the industry that I'm just not the one to mess around with. Like
Yeah.
you can try it on with me or not,
Yeah.
but you know, I always made them feel very uncomfortable in certain situations because I'm just not one of those girls that give in to anything. I'm just there for music. I'm just there to succeed, and that's it. That's my tunnel vision. But I guess with music, like you know, I've my whole life, personal, music related, anything, I've always seen Asian women in particular go through so many situations where men always had the upper hand and women felt like they couldn't speak for themselves, or they just felt like they were closed off in a box and
Yeah.
they stay quiet. And that infuriates me.
Mm.
I get very angry about that kind of stuff. And I'm not scared of making a point or saying anything, even if I feel like I'm going to make a fool out of myself, because I'm very passionate about this subject.
Yeah.
And so I put these songs out, which no Asian female has ever done before, because I felt like someone needs to say something.
Yeah, I love that you're doing that. I love it. Like you're really passionate, and you can tell that, you know, that whole thing's coming through, and you're there for work. You're not there for the nonsense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, definitely. And you know, just not being supported my whole life as well is obviously I've got a lot in my music to talk about as well, because you know, I every artist I feel is emotional, and I am an emotional person, and I'm not very good at talking about my emotions, but I am great at doing it through music. And
Wow.
so everything in my music is going to have a story um of just my experiences. Maybe it's past experiences, current experiences, or future experiences.
Well, that's good for us because then we get some great music. And going back to your music, so obviously you've got a bit of English, Punjabi, rapping, singing. Like, when did you even realize you could rap?
I didn't. So I guess where I come from is quite ghetto.
Okay.
I come from the hood. Like I know it sounds funny, but like it's never been shown, because when I came into the industry, I was I had to release music that was right for the industry. And
Yeah.
so uh, you know, I started off doing R&B, soul, gospel, but then I never trained in Punjabi, classical, Indian, nothing. I've never done it in my life before that. So I came into the industry blind-eyed, and I was told that I had to do this for the market. And
Wow.
so I was 16 when I first recorded, no, sorry, 17 when I first recorded Zalama, which was my debut single. And I literally had like a few months to learn how to sing in my own language, because it's so different to when you train in English, right? It's
Yeah.
like getting Beyonce to do a Miss Pooja song or Miss Pooja to do a Beyonce song. It's just
Yeah.
you can't really imagine that
Yeah.
happening. Um, and so, you know, I mean, the good thing is that I kind of pulled it off. And I think as I've been growing throughout these years, I've definitely found a love for Indian music and how I sound with it as well. I think at the start I was a bit scared because it's not something I've trained in, and
Yeah.
I was worried about how people were gonna perceive me as.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
so
I'm
like
very
inspiring that you would do that and then go there and you've made great tracks from it.
yeah, I think, you know, my heritage, I am Indian, so why should I not embrace that? And I think the great thing with where we are right now is there is urban Asian music. There are people who are making English and Indian songs and mixing it together. And so I feel like I'm here at the right time, and I can do both because I've experienced both.
Yeah. And talking about your rapping, I don't know if you could give us a quick line at all.
um, okay, I can try.
Go for it.
So I'll give you one from Dunya. मेरे पीछे एक उम्मीद जीवे तूफान ने गल सुन ले सानू अपने ते हे मानवे. No time for cat fighting because I'm cat walking on runways like Lima and Irina. Asi sotea vijitete.
Oh my God, I love it. If only there was a little round of applause here for everyone. Oh my goodness. I don't know how you rap. It's such a talent. Like it's amazing. And then you're mixing everything.
To be fair, I wouldn't say I'm a rapper, but I've, you know, being from where I'm from, like I've always listened to rap music, and so I do have a bit of that ghetto-ness instilled in me, and I can't help it because it's just the way I've been raised. But I wouldn't say I'm a rapper, but because of the songs, I think it's like a singing rap. So I kind of played off on my emotions. So it definitely worked for those songs, but I wouldn't say I'm a
It's
rapper.
great. If anyone's not seen the video, go and watch Dunya, especially because it's like black and white, like female strong power, and absolutely love it. And you've also going back as well. I think was it last year you brought out Retro Rari? Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God, that's really catchy. That's like Retro
I've
Rari,
been
the top down.
so many girls have said, "Oh my God, that song, I just can't get it out of my
I
head."
know, it's
And
so
it's
catchy.
yeah, I'd never realized it would be a catchy song, but the girls love it, which is great. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. So can I also ask you, Bambi? So I don't know if not everyone knows, the story maybe behind your name.
Oh, okay. So it's a bit of a sad story. My dad's younger sister, her name was Balbir, which is like a traditional Punjabi name, and she was first generation in the UK, so she grew up a lot with a lot of Caucasian and Black people her whole life, and they couldn't pronounce her real name properly, so they called her Bambi, which was like the next famous Disney film at the time. I think this was the 70s, I might be wrong. And so she was known as Bambi, and then everyone called her Bambi. And then she passed away when she was 24 years old. Like she literally just got married, and she had type 2 diabetes for a long time. And so she was on a honeymoon actually in India, and the sun really got to her, and so she basically collapsed and never woke up after that.
Oh my goodness.
And my mom was pregnant with me at the time, and so I was born 8 months after she passed away. And then my dad named me after her name, Bambi. So that's how the name came about. So her name was Bambi Bains, and my name was Bambi Bains. It's
Yeah,
Bambi.
yeah. Oh my goodness. I know that is a really sad story, but at least you're like carrying on that, generational.
I mean, I used to hate it as a kid because, when you're at school and people are like, "Oh, you've got a Disney name," and all this stuff. And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm literally named after a cartoon." But
Yeah,
I own it
you know
now.
what?
I own
Yeah, it's a
it.
great name now. It's a great artist name as well. It's a really good name. So when you started your career, Bambi, you started with Punjabi by Nature, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the reason I got into the Asian music industry was I started off as a dancer. So I used to do street, Latin, ballet, you name it. Like I loved dancing. And so I was part of this group called Bella Shava Girls. There's a girls and boys team. And we used to do music videos and weddings and stuff like this. And then we did one of PBN's videos, which was Fit Demo. And so we were in that as the backing dancers. And that's when PBN first heard me singing. I was in the toilet and I was singing. And then I came out and he was like, "Who was that girl that was singing?" And I had zero confidence back then. So I was just didn't own up to it. And then my friend was like, "That was Bambi. She can sing." Oh, for God's sake, because they all knew that I love singing, but it's not something that I ever, told people about. It's just like a hobby for me. And then PBN came over and he was like, I want to sign you right now. Sorry, was that there? Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, it's
Go
my producer.
on.
He literally there and then said, "I want to sign you right now." And then I was like, it's like a shock to my system because I'm only 16 years old at this point. And the first thing I said to him was, "I don't sing Punjabi. Like, you need to know this. So I don't know what I'm going to do." And he said, "Don't worry about it. You've got the tone, you've got the voice and all that stuff." And so he said, "Take my card." And then we had a meeting in Birmingham. And I was like, as you can imagine, as a young 16-year-old with a dream, but not actually thinking they could ever achieve something like this. Like I was the whole way through, I was just like, "Oh my God, is this going to be my biggest break?" And so we had this meeting, and I like I said, I told him that I can't sing in Punjabi. I can try. I listen to it. I always have, but singing in it, sometimes people, train for years and years and years to become professional Indian singers, and the technique is different to English. And I've only done English. But then I tried it. He actually he saw it in me, and so we had a few sessions. I had to make sure that I got the twang right. And for some reason, I managed to get it very quickly. And so we released my debut song when I was 17 years old. which
Oh,
was Ala.
that's
Um,
amazing. What a
and
story. That's
I
amazing.
know and it's very unexpected, like a girl like me from, Birmingham, from not a very wealthy background, just living her dream. And even where I am today, I always look back, I'm like, how the hell did this all happen? I just don't even know.
It's your pure talent. It's amazing. Right place, right time, talent mixed together. It's just
Uh,
incredible.
yeah, I definitely believe that, being the right place, right time, and networking, people look over it too much, but that is the biggest thing as well as networking, getting yourself out there as well.
Yeah. So how would you describe your sound now, and how do you want your sound to be in the future?
So I think everything I'm doing now, I guess for the first time, I have my own creative input. So when I was with PBN and, doing all these songs before, I never really had an input. And I guess I wasn't confident enough to have my own input. So I kind of let other people lead me, whether it's lyrically, like doing melodies for the song, the production, everything. My job was to just come into the studio and sing. But now I have creative control over everything. So whether that be production, writing, melodies, and singing, and videos as well, music videos, everything that's coming out now is all coming from my brain.
Love it.
so, but it feels good because the whole point of being an artist is to be a creative, and the only way you can do that is if you tell people what you want, your vision, whether it's painting or singing, whatever it is. And so like Retrorari, Dunya, Keal, and the songs that I'm making now, for the first time in my life, is coming out of myself. And it's nerve-wracking because I think I underestimate myself sometimes, because I think that you have to have done music for a very long time, and you to have these executives and managers and people from labels to tell you this is the right song or the right vision. But I have none of that. It's literally like me taking front lead and just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like imposter syndrome, isn't it? So you're feeling like,
kind of, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so even when I put Retro Aria, I was like, I have no idea if this is going to work or not, because it's coming from me, but I'm just going to do it. And it has, and I'm shocked because I believe in the sound, and when it makes me feel good,
Yeah.
that's what needs to come out. I'm not going to do anything to please people when I don't even know if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And it is like you said, if you're an artist, you want to be putting out what you want to be putting out, and bits of you
Yeah,
almost, do you know what I mean? So
of course, yeah.
love it. So we've also got to mention your acting. So I saw that you were in a film called Road in 2016, with some other familiar faces. I think I saw Tom Zanetti in there, unless I made that up.
Yeah. So Tom Zanetti was in there, Roach Killer, Dr. Zeus, who else? H Thummy. There were loads of people, to be fair. And so that opportunity came about. So I don't actually love acting.
Oh,
I
okay.
did it in school. I got A star and all that stuff, but it wasn't something that I think for me. My main focus was music, so I didn't invest all my time into acting as well. Um, and so actually, Dr. Zeus called me and he said, I have an opportunity for this role if you want to take it or not. And again, I was a very, very young person. I think I was 19 at the time, or 21 or 20. And I thought, it's just another opportunity. Now's the time I need to take every opportunity I can. And so I did it. It's like my first ever acting debut, which did quite well. It's like a British release. We had an opening in Birmingham at the Broadway Cinema, and that's where everyone was there with the red carpet and everything. So it was good for me, being that young to experience something like that is doesn't come to a lot of people. So
Yeah. Well, no,
yeah,
it's great. What a great thing to have. I've done a film, and you've also done, I've seen on YouTube, you've done a little bit of cooking with your partner. Is that right? You're doing some cooking
oh,
stuff?
I love cooking, and I guess I've always loved cooking, but it became more passionate to me during the first lockdown because I didn't have a lot of time. I wasn't distracted by anything else in life, like many people around the world. And so this was the first time where I actually had time off to concentrate on things that I don't normally make time for. And cooking was one of them. And so, putting things together, any cuisine, it just became very enjoyable. Like even yesterday and the day before, like every day I'm cooking something
Oh,
whenever I have
that's
time.
good.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love cooking.
You're cooking Indian cuisine, I'm assuming, as well.
Oh, a lot. I'm doing Indian, I'm doing lots of Italian, Turkish.
Mm.
There's so much that I love learning new recipes, and
Oh,
it's
that's good.
just
It's
an
like
enjoyable
relaxing, isn't
experience.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
therapeutic.
that's it's very therapeutic for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So we've got cooking, a little bit of acting, and then going back to your music. So you've obviously got 2 million views on YouTube for Keal, which is amazing. What would you say is your key to success?
I'm trying to pick out which key this is. I think the key is definitely consistency. Um, you know, you can't rely on having something given to you on a plate, or thinking one day someone's going to believe in me or see my talent and that's it. You have to progress, and you have to work hard every single day, even if you don't earn from it, because I've sacrificed a lot of years being broke just to get to where I am. And it becomes very fruitful at the end of the day. You just got to be consistent. You got to train yourself with whatever it is you want to do, whether you want to be a dancer, an actor, singer, whatever it is. You have to train every single day without fail to be the best, and it will be so rewarding at the end. So for me, consistency is key.
Perfect. And so what's next for you? Like, will you be doing anything new soon? Are there any exclusive you can tell us?
Nothing exclusive I can say just yet, because I like to say things when it's all confirmed.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on. I would say, because I'm a versatile artist, there's different genres I'm kind of tapping into. And I'm very blessed that there's a lot of big artists that I used to look up to who are contacting me for collabs now, which is unexpected, but it means I'm doing a good job. So yeah, I just need to make sure everything's finalized before I start dishing all my new music out. But I'm very excited. It's like a new wave of music that's coming out, and everything that I put out is going to be different from the last song,
Oh, I
which
love
keeps me on my toes as well. So I love that experience of not knowing what I'm going to put out next, because my mind is like a pick and mix.
Yeah, but you know what, that's great, because then you get to try loads of different things, be
Yeah.
different things in videos and things like that. That's literally a dream. And and lastly, like for people that have got this dream of being a music artist, and you touched on consistency and things like that, do you have any like tips about getting into the industry for anyone up and coming?
Yeah, I think right now that there's an advantage of having social media. I guess before it was harder, where you had to be signed to a label, you had to have a real manager who had to scout for you. But nowadays you don't need to rely on anything like that. So as long as as long as you have great talent, you train yourself, and you put out good content on every single social media platform you can, and really utilize that, and just keep going and going and going. There's no doubt that something's going to pop up one day and people are going to recognize you. So just use that to your advantage.
Oh, that's great advice. So thank you so much for being on the show, Bambi. It's been amazing to talk to you, and I cannot wait to see what's coming from you in the future.
Thank you. I'm very excited. Thanks for having me on.
So thank you.